to NURFM News for our sponsor, Cartier Jewellery. Always unique, always quality. Toronto Town Square.
It's 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Thandi Chindove with 2NURFM Hunter News. 30 Pacific Islanders have formed a blockade at Newcastle Harbour until 5:30 p.m. this evening in protest of Australia's continued uptake of fossil fuels. The group is carrying out peaceful action on the water in canoes in an aim to stop coal ships entering or leaving the port today. According to the protesters, islands such as Fiji will bear the brunt of the effects of climate change, especially rising sea levels, floods and intense storms. New South Wales Shadow Environment Minister Luke Foley believes Maitland MP Robin Parker has become collateral damage for the government following her decision to quit politics on the back of ICAC's damning corruption findings. After 12 years in Parliament, Ms. Parker has confirmed she won't recontest her seat at next year's state election, instead deciding to pursue other opportunities outside of politics. Luke Foley says voters will witness the destruction firsthand at the March polls.
Bet you a slap-up feed that neither Craig Bowman nor Gary Edwards are on the ballot paper as Liberal candidates next March. Robin Parker is the last departure. There are now no Liberal or National MPs from the Greater Hunter. None of them will contest next March's election.
The state government is being accused of opening the door to more corruption in the Hunter following its move to introduce proposed legislation which would see the removal of key safeguards from council tendering processes. The local government amendment bill recommends entrusting an individual official or private firm to determine the outcomes of multi-million-dollar tenders, eliminating council oversight altogether. State Greens MP Michael Shoebridge says it exposes the region to a number of risks.
This is red tape that's there for a good purpose, requiring multi-million-dollar tenders to be reported up to council and have that public accountability before they're accepted. Getting rid of that gets rid of the anti-corruption measure and really does open up local government to the kind of corruption scandals that have bedeviled it for decades.
State Labor has announced a $14 million plan which could place Newcastle and the Hunter at the centre of Australia's renewable energy industry. According to Labor, the plan will ensure new jobs and great investment in the region as the global economy shifts to a low-carbon future. Shadow Minister for Energy Adam Searle says the Hunter no longer needs to depend on its coal industry as much.
This is a region that has never shied away from adapting. Yes, it's had a history in coal, but of course they've now got a very rich present and future in wine and in tourism and in a whole lot of areas that are not coal or indeed steel dependent. And so I think this is just another step on that journey.
Candidates standing for the seat of Newcastle in the upcoming by-election were invited today to sign a pledge in support of the city's art gallery, museum and civic centre. By signing the commitment, Palmer United independent candidate for Newcastle, Jennifer Stefanik, says the preservation of the art gallery is vital to the city.
Well, I think if the state government and local government are really serious, we need to keep funding and ensuring that our economy will grow with the visitors that we get here to the CBD. We need to support a very creative population, and it's exciting to be here in support to ensure that the art gallery lives on now and into the future.
Meanwhile, art gallery supporter Kathy Tate says the abandoned art gallery redevelopment needs to be reinstated to restore the city's cultural scene.
I've got quite a few concerns. One, that a wonderful development was let go, and then our two directors, both of the art gallery and the museum, were removed. That is not good for the cultural scene in Newcastle.
There's only 2 days left before the Sunday's Friendly 15 Fun Run returns to Lake Macquarie. 1,200 participants have registered to take on the race, including London 2012 Paralympic bronze medalist Rosemary Little for the wheelchair category. Athletes of all abilities are being encouraged to have a go and participate as a runner or walker. In finance, the All Ords is up 20 points at 52.64, and $1 Australian dollar is buying 87.72 US cents. Now at sport, Belinda De Las Heras.
Jets midfielder Ben Kantarovski will be hoping to make an impact ahead of Newcastle's all-important encounter against Melbourne City this Sunday. The 22-year-old is a surprise inclusion in the extended squad after recovering from an arthroscopy on his right knee late in the pre-season. Adding to a year the Knights would rather forget, the club is now in trouble for breaching the NRL salary cap by more than $35,000. They have until the end of the month to respond to the fine, but risk the loss of much-needed competition points if they infringe again. Meanwhile, it's understood former Red and Blue prop Willie Mason has agreed to terms for a one-year deal with Manly. And 4 Hunter floorball players are headed to Sweden for the World Championships. Mitchell George, Sean Fraser, as well as Michael and Andrew Woods are part of the 19-man Australian squad, which qualified as the top team in the Asia-Pacific region. That's Sport, I'm Belinda de las Heras.
2NURFM News Time is 2:05.